Hello and welcome, everybody. It's Spreading the Nerd. I'm your host, Clint, and as always, as of last week, joining me is Rick and Nick. How are you doing today, gentlemen?
Doing good. Doing good. How about yourself?
Good. I'm doing well. It's been a busy week, but not a busy work week. I'll get into everything that I've done once we make the rounds here, but glad you're doing good. Rick, yourself?
It's been very long, very busy, very shit. This nerd is spread all the way out. That's all I can say.
It happens. It happens.
Yes.
Happens to the best of us. Let's go with Rick, let's go with you. Let's see what have you been playing this week? Have you watching anything? Did you visit any exotic countries? What's going on with you this week?
Well, I mean, I visited Jupiter like I usually do in the middle of the
Very
week,
nice,
but that's
good,
all.
good.
No, the only thing I've really played is Resident Evil. I according to the PlayStation like dashboard percentage thing. It is showing, I believe last I checked it said 85%, so I'm pretty much at the end. Nice. I should have it finished probably tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to play it tonight, so awesome. I do have some thoughts. I don't know if you want me to go into them now or if you want me to wait, but
maybe after we're all the little round table, and then we'll get into it, because I kind of want to talk about it a little bit too, even though I haven't played it as much. But
yeah, but on the other hand, wow. Ellery actually noticed your hair. I did not. If you did not say that, I had no idea you got a haircut, because it's not a whole lot different.
We literally just talked about this in the green room. We had this conversation.
That's what I'm saying. Had you not mentioned it, I would not have known it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it,
Ellery. But anyway, I did buy Docked today because I actually totally forgot that came out. I don't know. I guess
is it out of early access?
It was never.
Or is it in?
I don't think.
No,
I had no idea it was even out yet. I just happened to be scrolling through Twitter today and I saw they posted it, but I haven't played it yet. I bought it, downloaded it. Yeah. So me and my Saber simulation series. So I had to buy that.
Interesting.
Oh, it's a $30 game, which is nice. I bought the $40 deluxe edition because that'll have the expansion. But let's see. Yeah, outside of that, I mean, jumping in and out of something here and there with very minor exception, but it's been primarily Resident Evil for the last week, so that's nice. Really about it.
All righty, Nick, yourself?
A little bit of Stellar Blade, kind of picking away at that one.
Okay.
Some Apex, that's pretty much. I have this one buddy that I've been playing with forever. He always every single night let's get an Apex, so it's usually get a couple of rounds in. Hot drops galore. You got to know right away whether you got it or you don't.
The only way to do it.
That's right. I see Peanuts jumping into it too, so there must be something in the water there. I don't know. Other than that, it's been Marathon. Jumping in there yesterday, I went in a ton, and it's just good. I've been loving it.
Awesome. Good. Same as you. Been playing some Marathon. It's been actually like a really good week for me. Usually I'm busy with work and blah blah blah, but I wasn't too busy with work at all this week, and so I was able to take my handheld with me, play a lot on that. Sunday I had free, so the WoW expansion came out, and I probably put like 24 hours into that between Sunday and Wednesday. I didn't get much sleep. Got up at like 4 a.m. before work to start. Because I wanted to get that done so I get to other games. I'm definitely not done with it, but the story's done. Solid story this time around. I actually kind of paid attention to it rather than just clicking and going. Level to 90, so we're good to go there. I finished Dispatch, I think, on Tuesday. Absolutely love that game. I went into it just because everybody was going crazy over it. It kind of interested me, but the genre isn't really anything I'm interested in. So I went in literally probably with a 10%, I'm just going to play it, talk about it so I can see what people are talking about. I can honestly say probably one of the best games personally I have ever played. And it kind of baffles me because I have no interest in that genre. But something about that game, the characters are so likable and lovable. The writing is fantastic. I was smiling. I was laughing. The music's great. Invisigal is best gal. I will die for
Mhm.
her. So I absolutely love that and I'm really hoping season 2 or whatever comes out because I
Which
need more of that game.
which one is played by what's her name?
From
Probably the most prolific female voice actress in gaming now, between her and
Critical
Jennifer.
Role.
Yes.
Isn't that the one played by? Isn't that
Is it,
Invisigal?
what, is it Invisigal or is it Blonde
I
Blazer?
think it's
I forget which one.
Invisigal, yeah.
Okay.
And then
Well, in that case, did you know that her husband, when asked, picked Blonde Blazer?
Yep.
I guess
did
it
know
was.
that.
I don't know what it was. It
Well,
was
isn't he did the
Lord
voice
Blazer.
of the Blonde
Laura
Blazer's
Bailey.
boyfriend?
Thank you,
or
sir.
whatever.
I have no idea why I couldn't remember her name. Yes, Laura Bailey. Thank you.
Yeah, and then who is it Moist Critical? Was he Sonar?
Yep.
Super good as Sonar. Really good.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I genuinely, that dude is awesome. I know he has his haters, and I don't get it. I think he's hilarious.
He's fine. Yeah.
He's been clipped in some weird parts. I think that's really what it is.
Well,
People just see clips and assume his whole personality.
He doesn't hold back, so people don't like that he does
Yeah.
call out. But he doesn't call you out for having like a normal opinion. Like he calls you out if you're a genuine like piece of shit. So
Young Gravy was in it too. That was actually kind of intriguing.
I won't lie. So
there's a bunch of decent ones in there.
that makes me dislike that character. I really don't like her at all. But okay.
Yes, and this had a lot of Pierce as Malevola. She was really good in that.
Yep. Malevola was pretty sweet too. But yeah, loved Dispatch. Fantastic. And then I started Planet Lana, right? It's just Planet Lana, I think. Yeah. I got about 2 hours into that. It's a very beautiful game. It's kind of straightforward so far, simple puzzles and type of thing, but beautiful game. Good for while I'm at work, not doing too much. And then I also tried, I was just busy this week with gaming. It was great. I tried Monster Hunter Stories 3. Fantastic. I enjoyed the first two, but they were just kind of like, they're just there. I liked them because they were Monster Hunter, and they were just like, I played them just, they're okay. This one is like, seems much more adult themed. Graphics are really good. Characters are already like, being able to relate to them, so to speak. So definitely excited for that one. That comes out the same day as Fatal Frame 2. I don't know what I'm going to do. But
I'll tell you what you should do.
What should I do, Rick?
You should play Hollow Knight.
And
I want to give credit to Silk in it for continuing the harassment on our friend Todd Oxtra's show. I just discovered this today, and I was very proud to see that you cannot even not be present on another show. And still
it's impossible. It is impossible. There was a time.
I hope that at some point this propagates so heavily that every major gaming podcast mentions this every single episode.
I was on Todd's show like a month ago, and I don't even think Silkenet was there or anybody was there really. And it somehow came up that Todd was like, "Oh, have you played Hollow Knight?" Like even he's in on the joke now, and it's like, oh my god, it's just like the lore.
What have you played? A thing within all of our like groups.
Okay, so here's the really burning question I have for you.
Mm-hmm.
You said, "Oh, I jumped into Little Planet Lana and I played for 2 hours." How long did you play Silk Song?
Probably about that. Probably.
Oh, okay. So
I don't know what
that's
it is
good.
about Silksong or Hollow Knight. Like I know they're good games. I know they're loved, and there's nothing like. I don't like dislike it. It just doesn't connect with me. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe I need to come back to it in like 3 years and then realize I would like have an epiphany of like, oh my god, I was dumb all this time. Rick was actually right, and but I know.
I was.
Rick,
there's no actually. There's no. I thought I was
500
right.
other thousand people are right, as it's overwhelmingly positive and stuff.
Is that why you put the blanket up behind you? Why you can see it right now?
Actually, do you know where that came from? Yeah, that's right. That's where it came from.
Yep, I actually got him that for Christmas. That's funny.
That's funny.
Yeah, that used to be the Chelsea blanket, which I just moved on to there. That's what that is. And then I put this Silk Song one up there.
Yeah, so And then Marathon as well. So
This is staying up the entire episode, by the way, just so you know.
just
Like
like
the- I'm not mad.
I
I'm
was-
disappointed.
right. It's just like like it's like getting scolded by your dad, and you're just like, I would rather get hit, please. Can you just
Except he's scolding you in a French accent too. Remember that.
even worse?
Yeah.
Even worse.
He's probably so disappointed he's intentionally burning baguettes in the oven. That is how disappointed he is right now.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, speaking of Marathon, I know Rick, you haven't played it. You played
before
the
you go,
playtest, right?
Before you go into Marathon, why don't I talk about Resident Evil? Because there's probably
Yeah, go
more
ahead.
for you guys to say about Marathon.
I did. Yeah, I did play a little Resident Evil, and I won't rain on your thunder because I haven't gotten that far into it. I got about as far, a little bit after what you had talked about last week about like the zombie turning the lights on and
So
off.
you're still really early.
Like
then.
yeah,
Okay.
like day to day, and the maid like wiping the mirror with the
Right.
blood.
Right.
It's super good. I had to get Warcraft like out of the way, so now I can kind of hit other games. So what I've played, absolutely love it. But yeah, sadly haven't played too much this weekend. Probably Sunday, I'll definitely put a good amount of time into it. Hopefully. so take it away, Rick, before we go into Marathon.
Okay, so now obviously I'm not going to give a completely final thing here, but probably pretty close to final opinion because I am pretty far into it. I guess this would be considered a spoiler if you've never played a Resident Evil game before, but I am currently in what would be the late game secret underground laboratory. Surprise, it has one of those. Just like every single Resident Evil that's ever been made, it has one of those, right? So that's usually pretty late in the game, right? Again, I said 85%. So a very, very good game. It definitely ranks pretty high for me in the Resident Evil pantheon. I would say, not counting remakes, so taking 2, 3, which wouldn't really even qualify here anyway, and 4 remake out of the equation, I would say, in terms of just straight up releases, this is the best one since 4 for sure. It's not quite as good as 4. I think 4 is better. But I will say as of this point, I have 3 main complaints, I guess you would say. I will put them in order of what I consider to be least complaint-worthy to most complaint-worthy. And first and foremost, or not for least of the 3 would be, so when you play as Leon in his half of the game, it works kind of like Resident Evil 4 and 8, where you get an in-game economy, right, where you can buy upgrades for weapons, stuff like that. The economy in this game is completely and utterly broken, and honestly, it's almost pointless to even exist because you get so much money or credits or what they're called. It almost has no point. Like that's, I always liked how it worked in 4, where it's like, you're actually kind of like stressing over what you want to upgrade.
Right, yeah.
That is not like this at all. You can almost at almost any time you want, you can buy whatever weapon you want and whatever upgrade you want. It's
wow.
So it either they need to greatly decrease the amount of credits that you get, or greatly increase the cost of things, or more likely both. But it's not the end of the world, but it does make it like, man, that kind of defeats the point. It almost would have been better, I think, if it just had finding parts in the world, which it does still have, but it's not nearly as much as you would in like Resident Evil 2 Remake, for example. Mm-hmm. Next, and this is something that you may or may not have even discovered, although you are early enough, it might not have registered. I don't like the fact that Grace really doesn't get much in the way of a weapon selection. She only gets 2 pistols, one of which you have already, and maybe the other which you have already too, which is her original pistol, and the Requiem, and that is it. That is the only weapon she gets, and that's dumb. She should at least get a shotgun, even if it's just a tiny one or a sawed-off or something like that. Leon gets quite the armament. She gets that, and that's it.
Right.
And late you can craft a Molotov cocktail, but that's pretty much it. And I thought that was a little bit of a misstep. And I guess the biggest one, and this is funny because it specifically relates to how we were discussing this a week ago, as good looking as that game is in the first half, it is not very good looking at all in the second half.
Really?
Yeah. I guess kind of a spoiler if you didn't watch any pre-release stuff for it, but Capcom did show that and it turns out half of the game takes place in Raccoon City.
Right.
Now obviously, if you know how Resident Evil 3 ends, Raccoon City is a bit of a wasteland because it has been missile struck.
Yeah.
Right? So I get that, but everything is just completely and utterly brown. Like,
Um,
and it does not look good. And specifically, this is the funny part of this. What was all the talk about it when we were talking, first came out, right? How good it looks. And how it was using PSSR2, and how PSSR2 is such a step ahead of the first one and all that. Sorry,
excuse me, sir.
Pisser, sorry.
Pisser.
I didn't know what you were talking about for a second.
I know, I was confused.
And how Pisser 2
Acronyms,
was such a big step up over the initial one, right?
Right.
Playing through that section, you tell me that it's not massively far behind. Like this just goes to show. This runs on FSR, and this does not run anywhere close to the quality of DLSS, because there is shimmering everywhere in this. Well, I shouldn't say that. It depends where you are, but when it's there, it's really. It might be the worst case of shimmering I've ever actually seen, and that includes. Do you remember when Outlaws came out? How bad the the piss grass? You remember that? Yeah. That happens in the second part of it. I mean, it's not everywhere because there's not that much of it. There's not that much like tall grass, but when it happens, it does have that pisser grass. But all those things aside, what's that?
Pisser grass.
Oh yeah,
I love it. I love it.
All those things aside, though, that does not take away from the fact that this is a fucking awesome game. It is a fucking awesome game. It's just a couple things that's like, man, you were just a couple steps. You were a couple steps away from truly maybe being the best one ever made. I will say, what surprises me, the story is completely fucking stupid, but it's Resident Evil. But if you are somebody who has been around, it actually is kind of a cool Resident Evil like throwback story, and how it ties a lot of things from like RE2 into its current story. Obviously, the fact you're in Raccoon City and all that shit. And there's no doubt it is really cool to go through the destroyed areas of Raccoon City that you saw in 2 specifically. But it's really cool because you go, obviously, to RPD. That's no big secret. They showed that. I won't spoil it, but there are other areas from previous, specifically RE2, that you go to that it's actually pretty cool, and it does all kind of throwbacks. And there's other things about it that it's like, oh, man, that's actually kind of wild. Certain things that happen and occur and stuff like that. But yeah, so far very good. If I had to throw a number on it now, I'd probably give it about a 9. It's very high up there. It's not. I don't think it's as good as RE2 remake, and it's definitely not as good as RE4 or RE4 remake. But I would say after those two, it might actually be my favorite entry. We'll see. We'll see how it wraps up. See if it changes.
You're right.
The bosses are good, which is good because RE4 was known for having a fantastic boss gauntlet. I would say this isn't quite as good as 4's, but it does have a couple really, really good ones. You would not have fought any yet, I don't think.
No.
Okay. Yeah, well, the first boss think about the first boss you fight as Leon. It's still in Grace's game, but you fight him as Leon. And it was actually a really good boss. But that's all I'll say. But yeah, no, so far very good. Just a couple grumbles I have about it, that I just mentioned. But otherwise I'm pretty happy with it for sure.
Nice.
Now you mentioned you go back and there's areas from 2 that you get to revisit. Do you go to Silkenit's favorite statue that requires 3 medallions?
You see 2. You do see that, well, because you're in RPD, and it's specifically like the main thing in RPD's main hall. So yes, you do see it, and I believe, and actually, I guess cover your ears if you don't want to hear this. It's not really a story spoiler, but if you interact with it, and I laughed because of Silkenit talking about this. His thing, like his little monologue when it types up, specifically said, "This was such a weird puzzle," or something like that. This was such a weird statue, or such a weird puzzle, or something like that.
I love it.
And I was like, man, they must have talked to Silkenit when they did this.
Right.
Nice. Yeah, I'm definitely excited to get into it. When you mentioned the money thing, that is weird to hear that, because literally every Resident Evil
was very well. Bear in mind, the other ones that had it was 4 and 8. None of the other ones even had it. Well, no, that's not true. 5 had it too. Yeah. They were always very stingy. Like that was also because the other thing about it is to get credits here. There's 2 ways to do it. One of which is similar to how it would work before. So when you're playing as Leon, pretty early you find like this chest or whatever, and that's what works with it, right? You're not actually interacting with anybody human. And when you do it, he gets this like it's almost like a Fitbit or whatever he puts on his wrist, and it automatically it's honestly the most arcadey and ridiculous thing ever, but it works. Every time he kills an enemy, it gives him credits. Right?
Oh, every time?
Every time. And that's just it. It's no longer they have to drop a currency. They give it to you every time. And then also sometimes you will find, you would find the a valuable that you could sell. You'll find like broken watches or whatever you want to call these.
Right.
And they'll be worth a little bit, just like a solid chunk. And that is how it works. But since you get it every time instead of random drops of very small amounts, it adds up pretty quick because his section of the game is very, very action heavy.
Yeah.
Still it happens automatically over time, but there are certain things you can do to pass it quickly. But that is required to progress in the village part.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely looking forward to it. Like I said, hopefully Saturday or Saturday. I'll be gone half a Saturday. But hopefully Sunday, hitting it pretty hard.
I suspect I'll have it finished fairly early tomorrow.
Nice.
I probably only have another maybe 2 hours to go or so. But one other thing I will say, this is more of an aside. If you remember when reviews came out, I was like, man, it was a little bit of a bummer to hear that it was as short as it was.
Mm.
I don't know how the fuck anybody beat this game in 9 hours. I'll tell you that much, because it took me like 9 hours to get through Grace's game, and that's slightly less than half the game. Yeah. So unless somebody was just pounding through it, it's closer to the length I had hoped it would be, which was like 15, 16, 17 hours.
Perfect. Yeah, that's good. That's good to hear.
Yeah, so the length, if anything, the length actually might be a little bit longer than it should be, but I definitely don't think it's too short, which is what I thought it was based on the reviews.
Good. That's good. Nick, do you have any interest in the Resident Evil? I know I haven't heard you speak too much about Resident Evil, so I'm not sure where you stand with it.
It's one of those that I've played. The only one I played start to finish, I was honest with you guys, was 5.
That's right. You did mention that. Yep.
I didn't ever remember playing 6, but I checked my achievements on Xbox, and apparently I had. I don't know. That one and Revelations just kind of tied together. I played 4 in VR. I messed around with that a bit. And then I played Biohazard a bit. But then I got to this point where I'm lost. I'm like underneath the bayou, like you're get chased by the witch. I don't know where I'm going, and it's driving me nuts.
Anxiety's you talking about the mother or whatever? Well, I forget what her name is. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're not. I was about to say you were at the part that almost everybody considers the worst part of the game. No, you're not actually. No, you're not yet.
I was like, where's my yellow paint? I don't know where I'm going. Come on, guys.
Give me something.
That's right. Other than that, I really want to jump in and play 9 because I hear a lot of great things, but I feel like I need to do 2. I need to do 4, I think, and then probably jump into 9. Those are like the 3.
1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, and 4 is what you need.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then maybe if it catches me, go back and do some of the other ones.
Yeah. Yep. Moving on from Resident Evil, another game I played as well as Nick was Marathon. Came out this week. Jumped into that. I went into it. I just kind of like, I'm going to buy it and I'll just play it here and there. It wasn't really hooking me because I was still on that 160, 170 hours of Ark mindset. And I knew going into it that it is a completely different game than Ark. Yes, it's an extraction shooter, but it is, completely different, really. Played through the play test there, or the server slam, and I enjoyed it enough. And I knew that Nick was getting it. A member of the Discord, Ellery, was getting it. So I was like, yeah, I'll grab it. And the more I played once it launched and I actually figured out what like the icons meant, and it started really clicking with me. And also the fact that I can be a complete, piece of shit while playing that game, as some videos that I have posted. It's kind of good. It's weird. Like in Ark, I am super friendly. I'm giving away blueprints, weapons. I'm like, hey, everybody, let's take this robot down. I'm talking nice over, the headset and everything. And then Marathon, it's like my exact opposite. It's like, okay, this is where I could take out my frustration and ruin people's days and make my day. Except it's more people ruining my day for sure. But definitely really liking it. A lot of people that I've seen are like negatively talking about it. They don't like the graphics, and I guess I can kind of get it. But man, I friggin' love this style.
I will say I think that might be the circles that you're in, because from what I have seen, most people are overwhelmingly enjoying the game. Actually,
Yeah, I love the. I keep hearing, oh, it looks like Roblox. I'm like, okay. I
looks nothing like Roblox. What?
Like I can see like, oh, some stuff is blocky, and I'm like, that you're reaching. But the use of the bright colors, and I love when you're in like the tunnels on the first map, and everything is like glowing like a red hue or a blue hue. Yeah, just really, really liking it. Before I go on into it more, Nick, why don't you take over? And what are you liking about it so much far?
Well, I just want to touch on like the overall hate. It's like this has attracted the internet's hate boner, that I call it. Like that's just coming out in full force. Everybody's hating on it to hate on it, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But I love it. I'm a Bungie stan. I loved Halo through and through. I loved Destiny. You can check the hours. You can run my raid report. You can run my dungeon report. You can see I play Bungie games. I love what they do. I love the way the secret sauce of the way the guns feel, the way they sound, the movement, that the little bit of blam engine for the grenades is just chef's kiss. You know, it's beautiful. And jumping into this, before Arc Raiders, I tried the whole extraction shooter genre. I've done some play tests for things that haven't come out yet. I have done ABI, Arena Breakout Infinite. I didn't jump into Tarkov just because it seemed like very daunting.
Tarkov is so like way too realistic.
Tarkov, expensive. The realism is actually what I like about it, but it might be the single most un-newbie friendly game I've ever played in my life.
Facts.
I was told to expect to hate your life for 200 hours before it finally clicks.
Pretty much.
I've always said its learning curve is a straight up wall.
It's rough. It's rough.
There's no curve. It is a straight up wall.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just it feels very similar in the ways like ABI, Arena Breakout Infinite. I know I always call it ABI, but so it's very similar to other more traditional extraction shooters. It's a smaller map. You know, it's not like Arc where it's massive. It's you have your AI is more contained to your hotspot looting areas, and it's shoot on sight. But it's got the Bungie secret sauce. It's got the beautiful aesthetic. It's got the sound design is phenomenal. I was listening to the soundtrack today because they released it, and I mean, there's not many games where I do that, which is just amazing. There's also a very deep progression for those that want to grind. You've got the codex to go through with, you know, unlockables for whether your titles, your player cards, your cosmetics, which is always awesome. Just there's so much there for you to dive into. It's very meaty on top of just phenomenal moment-to-moment gameplay.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, I can go on forever on this.
Yeah, the codex, like you were talking about, I didn't pay attention to that at all. Because in other games, codex is just like, hey, it's, you know, this is this. Here's a picture of this. So I'd never really pay attention to codexes. But in this, I actually went into it. And the only reason I went into it was because it's like, you know, it's got a green icon. I'm like, I want to get rid of this. And I was like, oh, holy shit. The codex is full of stuff. And the more you find things, figure out things, do things, it unlocks things inside the game and deeper character information and stuff. I was like, oh, this is actually pretty damn cool. And another thing that you touched on was the sound design is phenomenal in this. I can't remember if it was you, maybe Ellery said it in Discord or something. It's almost like playing a horror game at times when you're out by yourself. There's so many like noises of like metal creaking and plants like spewing stuff. And I catch myself several times, you know, sneaking around, and then I'll instantly stop because I'm pretty sure that's a human's footsteps, but no, it's just like this metal tower kind of creaking next to me. The rain sounds fantastic. It's just I'm definitely falling in love with it more the more I play it, for sure. Definitely.
I think it's also going to be one of those games that really has a high skill ceiling, because we're you're starting to see little bits and pieces with all of your different, like you have your, was it the head, the body, and the legs for your little slots. Then you have the 2 mod slots, and then you
Mhm.
have the attachments and your guns. And like there is some very, very deep build crafting that
There
can go
really
into
is.
here. Because I swear there was a mod piece for your gun that you can get that you automatically reload and smoke. Which if you're playing with your assassin class, you go
Yep.
invis whenever you go in smoke. Then you start doing some melee to like add toxic damage. It's just I don't know. They're just it's endless. And now granted, you're gonna have to do a lot of grinding to have a big enough vault to
Right.
carry all these pieces to be able to do a loadout like that. But it makes me curious if they're giving us this amount of build crafting and like how they're gonna allow us to really creep up in power. What's the end game final map gonna be like?
Yeah, that's definitely going to be interesting for sure. Because I've still only I played the second map. I can't remember the name of it one time, and I love it. It's like a kind of like a lush foliage with buildings. So I do like that one. But I just kind of been sticking with the first one to get to feel of things and stuff. So yeah, it will be very interesting to see where this goes for sure. It's like I love Arc Raiders. I truly love that game. But for me it's just like gameplay, it's fun, but I'm not really unlocking anything. The missions I didn't really like even pay attention. I'm there for the gameplay. I have a blast with it. Whereas Marathon, I'm actually paying attention to like the codexes and what's going on in the world. Like you had posted like the whatever was going live there. What was it?
Oh, the puzzles,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is huge. That's a
yeah.
Bungie staple.
Which I had played earlier today before you had posted that, and those puzzles weren't working. And then when I played a game quickly before this, the puzzles were working. I was like, cool, this is like out of nowhere. This wasn't even like announced, which is super cool. So it kind of keeps you on edge of like, what are they going to do? Is it just going to randomly change and stuff? So kind of keep you on your seat for sure. But yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. I like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any other games you guys want to touch on before we go into news at all? Or go over?
As I said, I haven't played Docked, so I have nothing to say about it yet.
Well, let's go with this one first. This one kind of caught my eye today. Over at Polygon, several other sites too. Sony PlayStation Store
Couldn't pick a better news site, really.
Well, it's just the first one that popped up. PlayStation Store has been testing dynamic pricing on games. Regions around the world have been part of an experiment that displays different prices for the same PS5 games. I'm trying to see where it got into. In the case of the PlayStation Store, a website called PlayStation Prices has been tracking the numbers across Sony's digital platform. In an update on its research, the website said it had detected unusual offer structures containing experimental identifiers. Where's it going to say? It has been running across 68 regions. It included first-party titles like God of War Ragnarok and The Last of Us Part 2. And according to the price tracking website, price differences can fall anywhere between 5.3% to basically 18%, depending on where you are. But it also goes into it further, saying that it will take into account what games you play and what you're interested in, and whether those prices will actually go up or lower depending on what you play. And I don't like this at all. Like,
you know how you avoid this? You buy physical, and you don't have to worry about this.
Right. And it's just I don't even know. But the first thing that also came to my mind too was like, I know we have the Nintendo and Xbox is still kind of around, but like this is what happens when Sony has the monopoly. What's going to stop them? Nobody's going to stop them. If this does pan out, you're going to say no.
And the worst part of it all, when it inevitably works because Microsoft has shit the bed so bad, what's going to happen? Everybody else can start doing the same thing.
You're already kind of seeing it to a certain degree.
Nintendo will jump at the chance to copy this if they see that it's successful. $80 for Mario Kart World wasn't enough, so they'll find a
Yeah.
way to charge 95 for it somewhere.
And then it says here on another news article, one example cited by PlayStation prices and Helldivers was Helldivers 2, which they call an extraction shooter. Okay.
It's got some extraction shooter
some extraction,
elements, but it's not an extraction shooter.
You shoot, you extract.
I guess, yeah.
If it's ships.
So it was following different users, and some users saw it at a 25% discount, while others were treated to a 56% discount. So it's like,
I will say I don't have as much of an issue about different regions having different discounts. I will say
that's fine.
I have a far bigger issue with,
Right.
in Taiwan it's going to cost you $60, but in Japan it's going to cost you $85. I have a much bigger issue with that.
Right. Yeah, I can see breaking down sales wise or whatever in different countries and stuff. That's fine. But if we're in the United States and let's say both me and Rick want to get a game, and let's say Dispatch, I never play those games. What if Dispatch for me was at a cheaper price point than someone who loves those type of games?
Right.
Like, that is so unfair.
It's very sleazy. It is very sleazy.
Incredibly. And
I think
go ahead.
I think they're not going to use it that way, though. Honestly,
that's what the article said, though.
I hope not, but
I think how it's going to be more used is, let's say the three of us are maybe more enthusiasts, right? So we're buying stuff all the time,
right?
So we're probably not going to see those discounts. We're going to see them at full price. But then I want to point out, sorry to pick on you, Fable Root there basically plays WoW all the time. So when he pops on, he's going to see a 20% discount just trying to get him to buy anything,
right?
Because he's, maybe it's been a couple. Well, it's very similar to Facebook does this with notifications. You haven't pulled it up.
Say this.
It's going to say, hey, they're throwing everything. So-and-so's got a comment. Hey, you haven't seen this picture in a while. So-and-so, said this. So-and-so said that. MetaQuest actually did that with the VR. I would constantly said, you haven't bought a game in a while. They would email. No, it was coupons, or it was money off coupons that you'd have to use it by an X period of time. But they say, hey, here's $10 on your next VR game. Here you go, on us. Enjoy. They're trying to engage you, get you to buy.
I don't mind something like that. I really don't have an issue with, hey, you haven't bought anything in a while. Here's $10 store credit. You've got a month. Something. I don't have a problem with that. I really don't. I know some people think it's not okay, but I'm like, it didn't cost you anything extra. It's just they're trying to get somebody back, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The issue is if you do hey, this region's going to pay, and I'm not talking about when you're inflating for different, or not inflating, excuse me, when you're accounting for different monetary values. That's a different thing altogether. But Last of Us 3 comes out, and in the US it's $100, but I can't use Canada because they use monopoly money. But let's say England, it's the pound is obviously more valuable. But let's just do this in US dollars just to make it easier, right? It's $100 in US, and it's 90 in Great Britain. Like, I do have an issue with that. That's not okay.
What if they were essentially trying to populate servers? They don't have enough people in UK, and they run a sale in a game to try and justify keeping a server open, for the region.
I'm still not okay with that. It's one thing to have a sale regionally. I really don't have a problem with that, but I do have an issue with the price, not in terms of accounting for difference in value. I understand that, but selling it at a different price per region, I simply do not agree with.
Got it. Yeah, it's going to be interesting how it plays out, because as I just said, Sony does have like the monopoly, and they will basically do whatever they feel like doing. Like, what are people going to do? Going to say no and turn away from the Sony economy? It's not going to happen.
That's the problem. Is
you might lose some people, but the money they gain from other stuff is just gonna just gonna take over. It's kind of the same thing with my company right now. It's just ridiculous.
Well, I was going to say, this does kind of resemble the discussion. What was it, a few months ago, when Game Pass got its price hike, and it was like, well, the extra $10, obviously they're going to lose people, but the extra $10 that they'll get from those that stick around, it's going to make up for it. The good thing was, as far as I could tell, it has not, which is why you're starting to see all these changes. because I think they did lose. I don't know if they lost Game Pass subscribers as much as they maybe lost a lot of Game Pass Ultimate subscribers, right? They downgraded or whatever.
Yeah.
So it probably did cost the money. It's tough to say. They're never going to release real numbers for that, but it does sound as though that was a failed experiment, and this hopefully will somehow follow suit. But I see less likelihood of this one failing because, as you mentioned, people are just going to buy the PlayStation, so they're not going to have a choice.
I tell you what, though, you can almost game the system. I'm just saying, because you're usually saying like, hey, I'm trying to summon a sale on this game or whatever. The way to do it, just go in and look at it every day and just keep walking away. Don't buy anything for a while. And next thing
there's
20% off on it. You know what I mean?
I do that with where I buy coffee online. I put it in my cart. And then I forgot about it one day, and I got a text like a week later. It's like, you still have this in your cart. Here's 10% off, to try and get it. So maybe you might be onto something there.
You can game the games you want to be on sale up to 20% or 18%. Sorry, not 20%.
It will be interesting to see how it plays out, and the backlash from it. I'm sure there'll be drama regardless, but it'll be interesting.
Always is.
Yeah. And Ellery in chat brought up, and this was also something I was going to talk about. It was kind of rumored last week, but it is all but official now that Sony will not be bringing single player IPs to PC anymore. So Ghost of Yotei is out of the equation. Anything going forward, which isn't much. You got Wolverine probably soon, but
the only other thing they have that were Saros. It also said Saros would not be. And obviously this would be a little bit further down the line, but Intergalactic would be the only one I think it's even been announced as of this point. So
but so no single players. Multiplayer will still be coming over. No single player. We kind of saw this on the writing on the wall last week when we were talking about it, especially with Xbox coming out with a console or PC or whatever.
Make sure you use the right word. We're offending certain people in the Xbox community over this.
What console that can play PC games, it most likely will have Steam on it, especially when the GameCube comes out. That'll be Steam. So I think they're just protecting their IPs and making it so people will keep buying their PlayStation. They weren't selling too well anyways. I mean, they were making money, but not enough for them to really care. So
it's been declining returns. And we the three of us had discussed this in our private text, and Freight and I both have very different opinions on this. I don't know if we want to go into it or not, but I'm of the mind that if you look at what you just mentioned in terms of the declining results, as well as a clear no worry about Xbox, future hardware, I do believe this probably is the right move for Sony. But I know Freight does not agree with me here. So
I've come around on a little bit from the business.
Okay.
My personal sense.
I want to be clear.
Like it,
personally, I don't care about it one way or the other. I'm simply talking on a business sense.
A business standpoint, completely understandable. Yeah. As a gamer who wants to just basically have Steam and a GameCube back there, but I don't like it.
I mean, I see why they can't survive as a publisher. They rely on the 30% of what any purchase made on their console, and the only thing that they don't have services. They're not going to go out there and develop services. They're waiting for other people to copy it. So how else do you get people to buy it? You lock what you do have, which is your games, and I guarantee you that probably 2 to 3 years, once they've got that first beginning adopters like pulled back from the PS6, they probably bring it back, and they'll have a nice little back catalog to go through for those, because they don't put out a ton.
It'll be like it'll be like Disney back in the day with the Disney Vault, where it's like, hey, Aladdin is now on VHS for this year only, and then it'll go back in the vault and you can't buy it again.
God, I hated Disney so much for that.
Like, think about it. They've got, 90 million consoles, and they're still closing studios. Could you imagine if they lost like 10 to 15% to the GameCube? They would I don't even know what they would do. So they literally have to maintain what they've got. There's just no way they can get away with not having that many sales.
Speaking of the GameCube, I don't know if you guys saw, but I guess I think Valve themselves actually made a statement that they are
Yeah,
still
it was
going
one of
to
the things I was
try
gonna
to release it
Yeah.
in 2026.
Yeah.
I will say, if they don't get it out in 2026, I do think that puts a major hamper on any potential success for it. I do think it has to come out this year.
I think it does too, and yeah, we'll just jump right into that because it kind of interacts with this one. They first came out with updating the website or Steam said coming soon, and it was the Steam controller. What the Steam is it another VR they're coming out with or something?
Yeah. What is it called?
Steam Frame or something?
Frame. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Frame. Yep.
And then the GameCube. I refuse to call it anything but that. And it said coming soon, so I was like excited. I was like, finally, we're going to get something. And then like a half hour later, they're like, we're gonna try and get it out in 26. And I'm like, guys, like I understand with the memory and hard drive now going through the roof, but like Rick said, I think they really need to get this out here. They really do.
Especially if, obviously they're just refusing to say numbers, and I mean I understand why, but let's say hypothetically this thing's $1,000, which seems to be around where a lot of things are suggesting it might be. And I believe the rumor has been somewhere around 11 to 1,200. I don't know how accurate that's going to be, but for the next box, whatever you want to call it, I will say at that point, I actually think that the GameCube is almost DOA. I think the Xbox, I don't think the Xbox is going to do well because I think that price point is going to neuter it completely in the console space. But I do think if you are that close in price, people, I mean, obviously Steam has their fans, but their fans are where? On a desktop.
Right.
Right. At that price, you're not gonna be like, okay, well, I don't mind having an ability to play it in my living room or whatever, because that's not just the Steam Deck was a cheap thing you could buy to add on and be like, okay, I can play this portable. $1,000 isn't so much that the case, right? So if they do hit this $1,000 whatever thing, and the Xbox is 11, 1,200, whatever it is, being that they kind of do similar things, except technically in this case, the Xbox would, in terms of gaming, do more because well, I guess technically the GameCube would too, but no, the Xbox will play Xbox games, whereas the GameCube still will not do that.
Right.
So now this is where you have to get out ahead of this, unless you are confident that you're going to be significantly less expensive to the point that price is not going to be the determining factor. I think Valve has to get this thing out this year, and they got to do it before, they can't do it in November.
Right.
Everyone's going to be playing Grand Theft Auto then. So they kind of got to figure something out here and probably try to get this by late summer, if not September. I don't think you can release it any later than September and have any success here.
I think with this, like you said, I think it needs to come out as soon as possible too. But I don't know. I'm not going to pretend I know much about business or anything like that. But let's say it comes out at 1,000. I think that's a high price point, but it is what it is with electronics now. But Steam being Steam and its user base being already massive, I think you should absolutely sell this thing at a loss and make up your money on accessories, your Steam controller, because you can customize the front, sell the shit out of different things you can put in there.
There's plenty of ways to make money on the back end there.
Your Steam shop is going to make a shit ton of money coming back in at you. So, but that's my thought.
And if you don't want to overdo it and make 10 million units right off the bat, okay, that's fine. Do a slowly ramp up production. Start with 2 or 3 million, which you're going to sell. Even if this thing is a complete utter bomb, you're going to sell those amount of units, right? So start low. When word gets out that it's good, right? If you're confident in the product, then you ramp up production, and like you said, you're making money on everything else, not the hardware itself. But I'm not going to try to tell Valve how to do business because they're pretty damn successful.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Are you interested in the GameCube at all, Nick?
Honestly, yes, more and more. I am between that or the next Xbox, just mainly because there is something I'm running into. Like right now, I'm really big into Clone Hero, but I don't, have to play in my basement. My TV's upstairs. My wife is desperately wanting to play, but she doesn't want to come down the basement to play Clone Hero right now. And to try and do it through Moonlight, you're talking about every once in a while there's a slight hiccup, and you don't want that
Right.
in a rhythm game. And there's just a lot of games that I'd love to play with my son.
Mhm.
And to use Moonlight, it works all right, but just to have some type of console that I could use on the TV is phenomenal. Now, the $1,000 price point is really harder to justify, but I think that there's a lot of people that would still jump in. There's the same people that are buying your PS5 Pro that are just looking for a great place to play the game, that are want a step above the Steam Deck, but they're not ready to jump into building the full count or PC by themselves, or they want more of that console approach like you get with the Steam Deck. Prime example, we all listen to XCP with Luke. Guy still is desperate for a console. You still hear Joe from the trophy room. He's desperate for a console, even though he has a PC. They just want something to turn it on and it plays games, and they want it to play well. So they're opening up that whole other Steam library where there's a lot more games that are available to them that are not there on the console side. I think that if they can hit the market before Xbox comes out with theirs, I think they're going to do really well, even at a $1,000 price point. They're not going to move PlayStation or Nintendo numbers, but then you could look to see how is that doing for you, and then look at come holidays when GTA comes out, then you take a price cut, and then you start to do like flood the market from there. But start where you're early adopters and you can go full price and just kind of slowly work things out in the back end. See how your updates are going to go with on the back end. Start building out your GameCube verified badges with your category of games ready to go day one that are optimized, and then just blow it out from there. But it is, like I said, it's important that they hit market first.
We're getting to a weird and interesting, I would not say good necessarily, but place in the way that the industry is, and that it is getting harder and harder to kind of predict this stuff because everything is so different now. You have on the low end now a 400 to 450, depending on which way you buy it, unit. Then Sony was willing to push the envelope a little bit with the $800, right? Yeah, 800 Pro. I don't remember if it's 7 or 8. It is 800.
Yeah.
Microsoft clearly, I mean, they're not saying it, but everybody knows that this thing's going to be a fortune when it comes out, and they're even selling their less console. And I'm not talking Xbox being less. I'm saying the Series X is less than the Pro. Objectively, it is a lesser quality, and it costs more to get the semi-equivalent version of it. Hardbox more too. It's not like it's $10. Then you got Valve coming in here and going like, all right, and again, we're all speculation. This thing may be $600. Who knows? But it doesn't sound like it's going to be. And so if they're coming in around this $1,000 thing, it's like, will it succeed? I mean, that's a lot of money, especially for a lot of people. But the enthusiast market is growing. Like, there's all this talk about the gaming market shrinking, and it is, but the enthusiast market is not, and that's the difference. If anything, the enthusiast stuff's getting bigger. It's just you can't rely only on the enthusiasts because there's just not enough of them. But they are proving over and over. I mean, the PS5 Pro, as far as I know, has proven to be actually quite successful despite its price point. And, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say that it's. I would say it's more they got lucky than anything. In the fact of like, they came in at the mid-market refresh, and that it's your most powerful without going fully committed to PC. And with PC prices being what they are, it's very prohibitive to jump into it. To even get something on the equivalent of the PowerPoint of that PS5 Pro, you're talking, $1,300-$1,400 would be my guess. Roughly,
yeah, that's probably about right. Actually, might even more than that, especially now with RAM prices.
Exactly. So you're getting it at half the price, and it's the best place to play the games right now on a console. Like that. Yeah. That's for enthusiasts that's not ready to go all the way. I think they hit the market perfect right there.
I think there's that. Will
be for the next few years.
Plus, and I mean, this cannot bear, or this cannot be underestimated how big of a deal this is going to be. In 8 months, it will objectively be the best place to play Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
That is going to make a huge difference. Yes, a lot of people are still going to buy a base PS5 for it, or a base Series, a Series X, whatever. Yeah. But the people are like, I never really did buy a PS5. Maybe it's time I get one. I might as well buy the better one. Like that's not going to be an unheard of thing. And they're going to say, you know, especially if they can prove, you know, you talk to the average person who hasn't bought a PS5 yet. You tell them, well, this runs 60, this one doesn't. They're not going to give a shit. That means nothing to them, right? But if you can somehow prove to them that it is a market improvement over the standard console versus Series X, for Grand Theft Auto, that really might make a difference. And you can take it to the bank. Sony is going to push that point very, very hard. Not in November. They're going to push it in probably late September through October to be like, hey, you want to play Grand Theft Auto, this is where you want to do it. Since you can't do it on PC, there's no argument of that being the better version, right? It will objectively be the best version. Well, I can't
especially with
because the way the pisser stuff's been in some cases, you never know. But I would imagine, knowing how good Rockstar are at the tech side of things, I imagine it'll probably wow us to the point of insanity when it releases. On
especially with Pisser 2.0 coming out pretty soon here, and then they'll still have a few months for patching that too. Like you said, it's definitely going to be the place to play it for sure. And like you said, a few months in advance, they're definitely going to be like pro versus this. And I have no doubt.
It's very weird how, without any real effort, Sony's main argument for getting a pro was made for them by default by the way the direction the industry went in terms of, you know, all the RAM prices and all that stuff. Like,
that's why I said they lucked into it. Really,
I get where you're coming from.
Yep. Yeah. I was just going to comment on that too, Nick, where you said they kind of lucked out. They really did with the RAM prices and everything shooting up. It's honestly like, they actually released it just right where, it was kind of pricey when it came out for sure. But now when you're looking at everything, it's like, that's, you know, if I've only have the money for one thing, that's probably where I'm going to go, you know.
And actually one other thing, and this wasn't so much luck, this was kind of shrewd on their part. They did what I said they should do, and a lot of people did agree, but nobody thought they would. They did what Xbox did not do, and they decided to hold their ground on the pricing. Whereas Xbox increased the price every chance they had, every time there was a 10-cent increase on something. Now, to be fair, Sony also had a whole lot more systems produced by that point, right? So they were able to absorb the cost a little easier, but that does help. It helped because they had things produced and they stuck to the price and they didn't just increase it unnecessarily. Yes, they had one price increase, but everybody else had, well, not Nintendo, but Microsoft had 3, I think. That's what I'm saying.
It was ridiculous. Yeah, I think Microsoft had 3 in 1 year, I think.
That sounds
and it was
right.
also on accessories as well too, like controllers, stuff like that also went up too.
See, personally, for me, like they weren't moving it at a low price, so it's not like, I don't know. I kind of saw
why
like,
not?
It is whatever, take it up higher. But then I've always thought that if you held on to that money you were going to lose, and this is just hyperbole here, that there be armchair developer, say a month before Grand Theft Auto comes out, you just all of a sudden we're dropping the price for the holidays. We're going to take 200 off the top right there, 150 off the top, and just say, and you know how they do that? They do kickbacks for your people who already have their inventory on hand. You do those little, so they just blow it out. Now I don't see them doing it, but if it were me, that's probably how I would have done it. Because I mean, like I said, you're not really moving anything until that a game of that caliber comes out anyway. So you get out in the forefront, you drop your price, and you can actually get some movement and make it worth it. But
yeah, a lot of times what they'll do is they'll throw pack-ins with it so it's not technically cheaper, but they're trying to make it a better value proposition.
Yeah.
And
interesting times for sure. I remember when consoles went down in price. Pepperidge Farm remembers. Used to be your parents would be like, "Oh, well, just wait like a year so it goes down $50, and then you can get it." You know.
Well,
the one thing. Sorry. Go ahead.
We're at that time in the generation now where you would have all 3. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it was so cheap that you're like,
right,
tripped over this $200 machine. I guess, you know, okay, yeah, let's pick it up. Let's pick up those 4 years worth of games that I never got to play. Here we go. I'm all set.
Very true.
The one practice that Nintendo does that we didn't want them to follow is the one that they all followed.
Yeah.
Which was keeping the price the same.
Oy vey. But yeah, moving on from, it's still Xbox and probably the price point's going to be ridiculous. Asha, is it Asha?
I believe that is correct. Yes.
From the new Xbox there, tweeted the other day, or X'd, whatever, I don't know what it is on there. Great start to the morning with Team Xbox, where we talked about our commitment to the return of Xbox, including Project Helix, the code name for our next generation console. Project Helix will lead in performance and play your Xbox and PC games. Looking forward to chatting about this more with partners and studios. My first GDC next week. So yeah, we've been kind of talking about this and price point and stuff like that. My question is, even though it says Team Xbox, is making it, do you think it's actually going to be made by Microsoft, or do you think this is something that's like, this is the Lenovo version, this is the Asus version? What do you guys think?
This is your Motorola version. When Google, we're all Android people, Google puts out their reference device, this is that reference device.
Yeah.
That's what I feel.
Gotcha.
I'm 50-50. I can absolutely see it going either way. With how much Microsoft has changed, obviously in the last 3 weeks, and we don't know how much this was being pre-planned, it really is so tough to kind of guess this. I do lean towards it probably being what would be the word, like subsidized, or not subsidized, that'd be where they're covering part of it, a outsourced thing. But I don't know.
Yeah.
The only way I could see them doing it internally is if they're just really not making very many of them at any given time, which would make sense. I mean, if they know it's going to be pricey, they're obviously not going to mass produce 20 million of them. But especially with the volatility of pricing, they might be holding out, hoping that something's going to go down and they can make more.
Yeah,
but
someday.
Yeah, I do lean towards it probably being an outsourced project.
Yeah, I think you're right there. But,
and I will say, I agree with what you said. I actually think Helix is a good name, and I think it is what they should stick with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think everybody's saying that.
I think Helix is actually a very good name.
Solid name. Solid. Keep it that way. Let's see. Anything else in the news world that you guys want to talk about at all? Anything I missed or anything that you guys can know of?
I've been so busy, I haven't really followed the. Well, I guess the other thing is because I know I'm the odd man out on this one. There was that Sword Art Online release. Yes.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yep. Bandai Namco new RPG is Sword Art Online. I quite like Sword Art Online. Their games are very hit or miss. There's like one good one, two bad ones, one decent one. So I'm optimistic. This one looks like they are putting a lot more into it, money-wise and stuff. The characters look much better, but we still haven't really seen enough. But also out this year. I think it's out in June. June or July. Another game.
Yeah, late June, I think is what it said.
Yep, another one. And also Alex in chat said Assassin's Creed Unity 60 frames patch on the Series X and PlayStation 5. I think it got a resolution boost as well, from what I've seen. I haven't played it myself, but I think I've heard a few people on social media say that it got a resolution boost, which is awesome. Go play Unity. It's not as bad as everybody says it is when it first came out. It's a great Assassin's Creed game. I love it. And I still think it has some of the best parkour in the series.
It has the best parkour, but part of that, to be fair, is also because it has the best city to work with. There you go. Here you go, Stoking it. Here's your chance to gloat. Paris, France, best Assassin's Creed city in the series. But also because, the huge architecture works perfectly for what Assassin's Creed is. So when they continually went away from that, it just didn't make any sense to me. It's like you were going the right direction. Plus, I always liked the fact that since it was set during the Revolution, the huge number of people in the street I thought was cool, even though they were all they were barely functioning,
Right,
it didn't matter. It still looked cool.
It was awesome. And we got some people as well as Freight talking about Jason Statham and Jet Li. I just wanted to throw it out there. Jet Li randomly started, like, I think it was last month or 2 months ago. He has his own TikTok now and also other like YouTube shorts or whatever. And he is just like the most wholesome guy going. He is like on there, and he's like Grandpa Jet Li giving you like sage advice daily. And I'm like, I will
Is he
die.
Chinese? I don't know what nationality he is.
I don't know, but man, what early to mid 2000s, his action movies were phenomenal. I mean, you had was it Exit Wounds? You had Cradle to the Grave. You had The One. I mean, well,
Wasn't he in some Romeo and Juliet thing too?
Yes.
Like some weird retelling of it. Romeo Must Die. That's it. That's
yes. Romeo Must Die was really good. So good.
I mean, Must Die with Aaliyah, right?
Yes, but honestly, my favorite was
too.
Exit Wounds. That was such a good movie. Him and was it Jason or no, not Jason, Steven Seagal and DMX was in that one.
Yes,
Jason Segel,
right.
Steven Seagal, very different people. Sorry, Jason. I apologize for associating you with him.
You've done it now. You have done it now. Yeah, I love Jet Li. It's he was very quiet there for a while. I think he was having some medical issues. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, it's so cool to just scroll on TikTok and he's just up there and he's just like so humble and so happy, like interacting with people in the comments and stuff. He
is Chinese. He is Chinese.
Yes. Yeah.
I actually was not sure.
What was the last movie he was in? I can only think of The Expendables.
I was about to say probably The Expendables, actually.
Yeah, I think it was like Expendables 4 or something like that. I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jet Li was great. While we're on the subject, what about was there any other martial artists or anything like that from the 90s that anybody else loved here?
I was about to say there's a little guy named Jackie Chan who, unfortunately, became the spokesperson for the CCP. But
yeah.
Give me another Chris Tucker, Jackie Chan meet. I think they're like one of the best duos ever. They were so good.
All three Rush Hour movies were fantastic.
Yeah.
Speaking of, actually, Silk in it, chime in. How accurate was Paris, France in Rush Hour 3?
The inquiring minds must know.
Yes.
I feel like they kind of went away
Tony
from
Jaa, phenomenal.
Oh, okay. There we go. I was just going to say Tony Jaa. Yeah. Was it the Protector series?
Yeah. Muay Thai is
actually, I don't know who that is.
Unreal.
I
haven't
Isn't
seen
it called
Ong Bak or something. I'm killing it. But his Muay Thai is just phenomenal. Driving
is not chaotic enough. What? Okay. What about? I think it was Paris in John Wick 4 because the driving there was pretty wild, and there was that was France, wasn't it? I'm almost positive it was.
I'm not sure.
I don't know if it was Paris. It might not. It might have been somewhere else, but.
Yeah,
they have that whole crazy scene where they're fighting in the giant roundabout.
I remember back in college, we started getting into like those like almost B-roll style martial arts movies, and we stumbled upon Tony Jaa, and we were watching the first Ong Bak movie, and we turned it into a drinking game, thinking, take a shot every time somebody gets kicked in the head. Who's gonna get kicked in the head? And in the first part of the scene, they have this thing where he's trying to be the first one to climb up a tree, and he just every 2 seconds he's kicking someone else in the head to like knock him on a tree. And I'm like, son of a gun! It's like the Family Guy drinking game all over again.
I just want to point out, per Silk in it, John Wick 4 best movie ever made. There we go.
Oh.
What do you mean? Hold on. Hold on.
John Wick 4?
John Wick 4 was awesome.
I thought it was the worst in the series. I'm going to put it out there.
What?
I'm putting it out there. I'm putting it out there in the world.
I can understand thinking it wasn't the best.
I enjoyed it.
It was better than 3.
I enjoyed it.
3 was easily the worst. I still liked it, but it was easily the worst of the 4.
I really enjoyed I think that after the first one, we've reached a point in cinema where everybody wants to one-up themselves with the one shot, and it's getting to be a little bit ridiculous. The studio is probably the last one I remember that really brought an interesting view to that, and their one-shot episode was incredibly amazing, just start to finish, because they did the whole episode that way.
Of all episodes for Todd Oxford not to chime in on, it's one where we've just spent 15 minutes talking about movies.
So like, but in 4, the pyrotechnics of, because he had the Dragon's Breath shotgun, right?
Your argument is invalid, and I don't know why I didn't think of this. You are right, Soaking It. The fact that John Wick 4
That
turns
was pretty
into
good. That was good
into
scene.
Hotline Miami.
Like a top down, yeah.
Automatic dub. Automatic
was-
dub right there.
That's what I mean. That was their one shot that I'm talking about right there, because it was done all the way through, and just the timing of everything with the pyrotechnics of the Dragon's Breath shotgun that he had. So all the flames that had to go off and explosions were just
gorgeous.
Which
that
was
was
also
really cool.
brilliant because it made it so much easier to see what was happening. So that was very good. That was very smart design.
There's another one, and I can't believe I'm forgetting it. I think it's Thai movie. But this guy goes in. Thank you. Yes, thank you.
It's the greatest one shot of all time. The greatest one shot of all time.
Yes, the raid is so phenomenal.
Yes.
Like it's amazing. Like
what's our thoughts on the fake one shot that is the hell's the name of that movie?
1917.
Thank you. I was supposed to say the war movie. 1917. Yes.
That's funny. I think it's phenomenal. I know it's.
I love that movie.
Fake, but it's. I think it's really.
It was
good.
so well done though. Like they hit it so well.
Silken in chat. Old Boy is fantastic too. Yep.
The raid though. I mean, when he does
the raid,
he busts the hole in the door. He does the bulldog, and the guy's throat goes in the exposed part of the door. Or he's the whole visceral thing when he's slamming the guy's head in the wall, and it's making the crater impacts, and it's the camera's going down with them as the guy's sliding down the wall.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
What happens when the bullets run out? The raid. Oh my gosh!
If you're into any type of like martial arts movie, like
is it the Raid Redemption or
no? The Raid Redemption is phenomenal too.
But that's the second one.
Is it a sequel? Okay.
Yes.
Sequel. But the first one is just I think it's the second one that has him in the hallway with the machetes. I think that's the second one.
No, that's the first one. Second one, he's in prison, and it plays out like The Departed.
That's right.
I never heard of this.
It's
Mike Shinoda was involved with that to bring it to
hell yeah. I love Lincoln. Well,
I cannot talk good enough about this film. It excites me. This film, it's so good.
One of the guys, the dog, the mad dog, his brother, one of the guys that they fight, the old guy that they get to do the tag team on, that's actually the stunt choreographer. And I want to say, was it in the first Star Wars Episode 7? They actually got to come in, and he was a choreographer on some of the stuff. So they actually brought him in as a scene. It's when they find Han Solo and Chewbacca, they're one of the mercenaries. So like the main character from the Redemption and the fight choreographer are two of the mercenary guys.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, if you haven't checked it out, The Raid is top tier. If you like the martial arts or action, just action movies. And even though it's like full on, it's like the whole thing is like an action fever dream basically after the first 10 minutes, but there's actually a pretty decent story there too, for what it is. But yeah, I cannot recommend it enough.
So Luke said this District B13 movie.
Yeah, what is that one?
Multiple times.
But I will say, did he say it multiple times?
Yes.
Oh, yes,
this is like the third or fourth time he brought it up.
Yeah.
So I looked up. Now, look, I'm not commenting on the movie at all because I've never heard of it. But I will say,
French.
Yes, it is. I did see that. But I will say, this cover art that came up looks like the most B movie thing of all time.
It does.
Look at this. Hold on, I gotta share this.
I am actually looking to see who's
2004 this came out.
Look at this. Look at that cover art.
Like
it looks horrible.
It's like a terrible Fast and the Furious.
Hey, we don't shit talk Fast and Furious here.
No, I'm
a Fast and Furious fanboy, so we don't
I am too.
I'll say you, but you watch what you're saying.
Yeah,
now, I want to be clear. I am not saying anything about the movie itself, Luke, because I don't know anything about the movie. I'm just saying this cover art. This looks like a really bad budget PS1 game, doesn't it?
Okay. To be fair though, in Luke's defense, you could probably pull out like half of Tony Jaa's his cover arts for his movies, and they're pretty awful too.
What was that? But now let's all be honest. One of the best martial art movies of the late 90s. I think it was late 90s, maybe very, very early 2000s. Had to have been like Kung Pao. Am I right?
Or
Go for Chucks.
if you're cultured enough, and I know you are because we've talked about it, the Kentucky Fried Movie, the Kung Fu section. What was it? That Kung Fu show within it? I forget what it was called.
I can't remember the name.
Yeah.
Of it, but
it was like it was like Fists of Lotus or something
oh
like
my
that.
god! Like someone gets in trouble and he's like, "Take him to Detroit." And
the part where the guy threw a transmission at somebody else, or was that or was that Kung Pao? I can't remember which one was which. I think it was Kentucky Fried Movie.
Kentucky Fried, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? He actually throws a transmission at somebody in the fight.
I can't say I've seen that one actually.
Kentucky Fried
it's
is
wild,
phenomenal. Man. However, be careful going into it because it is
do not watch it with around your children.
It is not PC.
There is all kinds of nudity.
But it is
Is it kind of like Shaolin soccer at all, or
no? It's
Kung Pao is more like Shaolin.
Yeah, the Kentucky Fried Movie is more like if you take
it's like little skits tied.
Yeah, it's like
so over the top.
Take Monty Python without the Britain, and like whose line is it anyway? Add a lot of nudity, a lot of swearing, and a lot of racism. Like as a joke, racism.
Yeah,
and put them all together. That's what it is.
It's wild.
It is genuinely absolutely hilarious, but it is not. It is not kid or in many cases wife friendly. I'll say that.
Yeah.
So is it kind of like in the way it handles some of that, like where it plays into some of the stereotypes? Is it kind of like
you also bear in mind it's
Black
from
Dynamite type deal, or
kind of yeah.
When did that even come out? It was like the 90s, I think.
70s?
Was it that old? Okay, I didn't even know it was that old.
I think
so. Now I'm not saying I am not saying they're like being racist. Like it's jokes about
100%. That's what I mean.
Yeah. 97. Not 97. Sorry, 77.
That's like back in like Enter the Dragon and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's wild. It's wild.
It is fun because it is just. It's completely fucking crazy. Like that's the Monty Python part. Is it just?
It is.
They're just like, hey, let's be as absolutely off the wall as we can.
Yep.
And it is
crazy.
It's a ride. I'll say it that. It is a ride.
See, for me, like as a kid, that like Enter the Dragon is one I bring up because I love that one. You have the Shogun, Shonuff, the Bruce Leroy, Oh man, that's such a great movie as a kid.
Classics. Absolute classics.
I think that's what instilled in me the love for all these martial arts games that are coming out this year, which is just or last year too. It really started last year.
Did you like Sifu
every time? Did I like what?
Did you like Sifu?
Sorry, for first time I heard you, I thought you said seafood. And I'm like, I think he's talking about seafood. Maybe let's double check.
Do you like fish sticks?
I played Sifu. Sifu was a lot of fun.
It's very hard
from that for some reason. Yes, it is. And that
I could not get past the second level. The what you call it, the like dance club. I couldn't beat the boss. Is what it was.
Was I in a warehouse or something like that? Was where?
No, it was like a dance
where
club.
I fell off from it.
No, sorry.
There's a warehouse level at some point.
Isn't that the first level?
No, technically the intro level, you're going through like your dojo and your master.
Yeah, not that. That's because I don't even think you can die in that part. I think the first like real level, I think is the warehouse you're talking about. But the game is hard, so I'm not making fun of you.
Yeah.
It's merciless.
It looks interesting, but I haven't played it because I heard of how hard it is, and I like played Souls games, but I was like,
for me, I was on it before I got into Souls. So like I haven't revisited since then when I realized I had that sadistic side to me that just loves being punished. So, it was Elden Ring that made me realize, I actually kind of like this stuff, Please,
give me more.
Hurt me again. Yeah.
I will say that comparing it to Souls is not quite. I mean, I'm sure you're aware that's not a Souls game.
Yes.
But because in a Souls game, you can fail as many times as you have to. You are limited how many times you can fail at this.
Right, you just keep getting older.
You keep getting older until you eventually die. That's right.
Yes. Funny.
Well, gentlemen, I think it's time for reading everybody's fortunes. What do you think? Rick, why don't you lead us
I know two of us were ready for this earlier today. One of us was not.
To be fair, I was ready before the stream started.
Who's calling anybody else? I missed something.
I don't know who we're calling out.
Yeah, I'm calling out Clint. I'm sure you're not stopping me from that because
probably
you would encourage that. I'm sure.
Well, come on.
All I gotta say
geez,
is I'm always ready to rock. I gotta keep my little box right here.
I love how you have a box of them. It's great. Go ahead, Rick.
An upcoming event will reunite you with old friends.
Oh, okay. All right.
Being is that a certain event is only 3 days away, maybe it has something to do with that. I guess we'll see. I will say no more. If you know, you know.
Okay. All right. Nick.
Your troubles will cease, and fortune will smile upon you. I think that means I'm finally ready to turn the corner in marathon.
There you go.
I don't know.
There you go. Gotta keep a good lookout.
Or else immense wealth is in your future.
We need to just keep adding people to the show, apparently, so everybody just gets a good fortune at some point. So luck will favor you in your business. So maybe spreading the nerd is our business. We got Nick on here now, so yeah, we're getting lucky around here.
We had a very high viewer count all day today.
Yeah, we did pretty solid today. Thank you very much, everybody that popped in here and was talking in chat, giving a bunch of news for us to read off and movies to look up. It was good fun, good times. And my mouse
and through it all, Clint still hasn't played Hollow Knight. Remember that?
No, and my mouse, like I just said, is screwing up because I swear to God, if I have to get a new mouse from Corsair, I'm going to be pissed because it's going to take.
You don't have to get a new mouse from Corsair. Get a Logitech. Get that one. This is an awesome mouse.
I used to love Logitech, but that's for the next show. Actually, next show.
Are we gonna?
No, because I will go down a road.
Are we gonna have a brand battle now?
I will go down a road, sir.
Here, wait. I got it. I'm gonna call a shot right now. Next one, you guys try to talk me out of using this and what I should do with a mouse and keyboard.
Oh,
tell me on the mouse.
Real quick before we end the show.
What the hell controller is that?
Nick, I am
the Razer Wolverine V3 Pro.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
Nick is a great person, funny, get along with him great. Watched him on Switch last night, on Twitch last night playing Marathon. You were killing me with the controller. Like the way the inventory, and I know it works for you and that's fantastic, but I was seeing myself playing with the controller and I wanted to jump off a bridge. I'm like, this is
what happened? I don't know what this is about.
He was just pulling items from inventory off the ground into his inventory, and I'm just like, this is 0.2 seconds slower than if you used a mouse and keyboard. I'm like, this is driving me bad shit. But
Stellar Blade. If you played Stellar Blade with a mouse and keyboard, you should be on an FBI watch list.
You should definitely play that with a keyboard. Controller for sure.
Listen to this. This Freudian slip going on over here.
Yeah. Are you the people that Silkenit was saying that he watches play Souls like on a mouse and keyboard?
Oh God, that sounds awful. I don't hate myself that much.
I know people. Okay, so this is a true story. I know we're trying to wrap up, but I have to say this. I have to say this. The group that I play Rocket League with, there are only like 2 of us that play with a controller. All these other fucking monsters play with mouse and keyboard in Rocket League. I'm like, what fucking planet were you guys born
Agreed,
on?
right there with you.
It's like when I play, we were ending the show 20 minutes ago, but
anyway. I know, that is incorrect. It depends on what game you're playing.
All right, that's my bad.
No, it's fine. Like Final Fantasy 14 is keyboard and mouse or a controller. Yes. However, it's a massive
you have to have a keyboard
game.
Yes.
But there are people that play it on PC with a controller, and I'm like, what are you doing with your life?
Luke, you're talking about these. Actually, you're talking about this guy. I played it on PS5, so that wasn't me.
Yeah,
I have trophies to prove it.
On PC, I would use a controller for sure.
Yeah, that's what he meant. Yeah. That's what Luke meant. Yeah.
Gooner Blade. Yeah, what did we call it? When it first came out, we called it something, Rick.
Yeah.
Shit. Gooner Blade is solid. But
what was it, Silkenit? Because you were part of it too.
Oh my God, what was it?
Was it Stellar Boots or something like that?
It was something. I don't know. It was something we probably shouldn't have said, but
probably.
It was
just another example of us making Luke uncomfortable.
Not to keep on this tangent here, but what always shocked me about that game is the rest of your team. They have functional jumpsuits, and then I don't know, the default suit they gave me for her was she was a K-pop singer or whatever. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
High heels, K-pop outfit, and the other ones are like, we're all tactical and whatnot.
Okay,
Yeah.
somebody didn't read the outfit lore clearly, because what she is wearing is technically
There is no
the
reading in
seventh-
that game as
the
far as I'm
se-
concerned.
the 7th generation of planet diving suit, whereas Tachi is wearing I believe it is 6th generation, and everyone else is older than that. So
All
So
right,
they've
Rick,
found
you
a way
get
to make it look
We
fabulous.
got
The
it.
new generation.
they found a way to make it
A
look
great game,
something.
though.
I'll say that.
Great game though. Stellar Blade, even past the outfits, fantastic game. I quite actually enjoyed that game, and it was actually a decent little mini fishing game in that, surprisingly enough. But
You
Keep an
think?
eye out on that
I
one.
thought it was terrible, actually.
I mean,
I
for
hated
what it
fishing in it.
was, it's definitely wasn't the best. But
Yeah, I did
considering
not
it was
like the
kinda,
fishing in that
tacked
game at
on
all.
For that, I thought it was good for what they tried to do. All right, I think that's gonna do it for us, folks. Before we find something else to go on a tangent on, as we always do, but that's what we do around here. Freight, where can everybody find you?
Freight Conductor on all your socials. You got Twitch, you got YouTube, you got Instagram, TikTok, and Discord. Blue Sky as well. Some variation.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Rick, yourself.
Butch4969, all the socials, including Discord. I'm back, baby. Although only a little bit. Only a little bit, but I am back.
And for Spreading the Nerd, just type in Spreading the Nerd into any socials. You'll find us. There's also a Discord link in the YouTube description. If you're interested, the community is free. Hop in and say hello and talk about books, movies, anything, literally anything in between. Food, who knows what's going on.
A lot of
there in the
marathon
chat.
right now.
A lot of marathon.
There is an entrance exam to this, though. If we ask, has Clint played Hollow Knight?
Yeah, geez.
Better know the answer, because if you don't know the answer,
It
you're not
never
getting in.
ends. It never ends. Anyways, thank you very much, folks. It's been a blast as always. Thank you very much, and we will see you next week.
Later, guys.